Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. For my project today, I'm using another new bundle called Darling Details, the stamp set, and the dies have two sheets to them. It's this and this one. Alrighty. I made a box that opens on the side like this. And inside I have a Reese's snack cake. It is two cakes, but apparently it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup, but it has the chocolate cake on the bottom. So this just happened to fit in here. The box measures 4 by 3 by 1. So this is my glue. It's not quite long enough for the glue, but that'll give you an idea of what you can put in. Alright, so what we need for this project is some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of Bubblebath cardstock that is 9.5 by 8.5. Now this here is the delightfully eclectic pack of paper. It's a very large pack, and we're going to be using some of the stripes and some of the flowers. Let me just show you the... Alright, it has 48 sheets in it. And there's a pretty wide variation of papers. But I do like it. They used to have a 30 pack in the, you'd have to spend $150 in order to purchase it. It was like a host thing, but now it's just available for purchase, so it's excellent. I just love having all different types of paper in one pack, and today we're using the pink stripes. What a surprise, right? Okay, so on this one, I'm going to change it a little because you can't really see this, and I'm going to change this. This is one of the dies. I'm going to change it to white in there, and I'm going to put it on the stripe paper right here instead so you can see this more easily. So I cut this out of basic white. So we're going to need mostly the stripes. So we need total 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 3/4, and 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 3/4. Okay, and they're the same paper, so we can just flip over the ones we want. All right. So now, this is my host code. Please use that if you're going to be purchasing anything on my website under $150, and don't include the tax and shipping as the $150. I just wanted to say thank you to Barb K. She sent me a beautiful birthday card. That's a fun fold card that goes like this. I just love this. Thank you so much. And she sent me this is a box that I created, but she made it different with the cute cat. That's from one of the new catalog stamp sets. And inside is a whole bunch of Dove candies. I appreciate it so much, Barb. Thank you. It really made me smile when I opened it. And there was a whole bunch. It was in a little box, and there was a whole bunch of cute confetti in there, and I just loved it. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to start with our cardstock and our Simply Scored, and we're going to score the 9.5 inch side first, and we're going to score at 1, 5, and 6. And then we're going to turn it to the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2, 1.5, 4.5, and 5.5. Okay, now I'm going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. Okay, all right, so how we are going to put this is the skinniest rectangle is going to be on the left hand side, and then there is a 1 inch strip at the top. We're going to do this in the portrait way. I don't know how to say it on the word other than portrait mode. We're going to put it in the portrait. Okay. And this is what we're going to be doing. All right. So we're going to start on the bottom left. And we're going to go to the first score line. And we're going to cut it to the second score line. And then we're going to wedge up into the skinny rectangle above it. Next score line, we're going to go to the second score line again. Oops, not very straightly. We're going to cut off this rectangle on the bottom and wedge both sides of the square. Then we're going to the next score line, cut it to the second score line. I guess I could use a bigger pair of scissors for this one. Okay, and then the next score line, the same thing. Cut it to the second score line. We're going to get rid of that rectangle on the bottom and wedge each side of the square. Now we're going to take these two pieces off. Okay, so that's what that side looks like. Okay, now I'm going to turn it to the other side. And this one's a little more of the regular. So we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line. Next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Then we're going to wedge up into that skinny rectangle. And that's what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring and cutting. This pattern is one of the different ones. Our seam is going to be towards the front just because of the way it worked out. Because it was too long. I made another box. It had the turtle on it, but it stood this way and it was a little shorter, but it was a much shorter box. In order to have a box this big, I had to kind of do it this way. So we're going to put the tear and tape on what's left of the skinny rectangle and take the backing off. Then we're going to turn it over. We're going to turn over the side with the tape and then turn the other side over to meet it. So now our seam is in the front for this one, but it's okay. It's going to kind of be covered. All right, so this is going to be our front. So we're going to put the sides in and put a little bit of glue on the tabs. Pull the back in and then put some glue on the front. And then just make sure that the sides are all nice and even. And then make sure that your tabs are down inside. Good. All right. And that's our box. All right, so now we have our DSP. And let's go with the shorter ones first. And they are 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to put a stripe one here, and instead of the flowers in here, we're going to put the stripe one there too. And then the other short one that is 3 1/4 by 2 3/4 on the inside. If you don't want to put the flower on the inside, you can make it the flower over here too. I just feel like it doesn't show up enough. Okay, and then we have 2 more that are 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and we're going to put one here with the flowers and the stripes on the back. Okay, and then the two long sides are 3 1/4 by 3/4, and the short sides are 2 3/4 by 3/4, and they're going to be the stripe also. So now we're going to just let this dry a minute, and we're going to do some stamping. So we need our basic white, we need some scrap. All right, first we're going to do our large flower with Bubblebath Ink. And I'm going to do the inside. I'm going to stamp it off once. Let me do that again. I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it on my paper. Okay, and then we're going to use the outline one, and we're going to stamp that on top. Okay, and now we're going to do the, it's probably better, I did this backwards, it's probably better to do your outline first, it's easier to see. And then I'm going to do the inside of this smaller flower, stamp it off, and stamp it in there. All right, now we need to do our leaves. So we're going to be using Granny Apple Green ink, and I'm going to do the outline full strength, and then I'm going to stamp off the inner. There we go. Okay, and then we need one of this little sprig there. All right, and instead, either you can put your sentiment here. There's several sentiments on here. This is a very good sentiment set. Happy birthday, hello there, you're not here, I hate that. Friend, count me among all the people who are here for you. Just a note and thank you. So this is a pretty good sentiment stamp set also. All right, and you can put the sentiment here and the flower here, or the flower, the sentiment here and the flower over there, or you can just have no flower. All right, so now I'm going to cut them out with the Darling Details dies, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my two flowers and my two sets of leaves, and also this little whole flower and leaves set up here. All right, so I'm going to get my silicone mat because it helps me out, at least for the inside one. And I'm going to get this out of that was out of basic white, and I'm going to put big zigzag. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, the sticky end. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm just going to kind of move it around, and then I wanted it over here. I'm just going to push it down. There you go. And I'm just going to take a tissue in case any of the glue does happen to squeeze out. It'll pick it up. And then I'm just going to get rid of that ink on there. Okay. Now let's just flip it over because I don't want to close this until that glue dries. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my flower about a half, let's see. Yeah, a half an inch down from the top of the cardstock here, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of this space with dimensionals. About right there. Okay, this is dry enough now. All right, and then I'm going to add my leaves right there with liquid glue. And then my other flower right over here with liquid glue. Okay, and then my little sprig I'm gonna put up right over here. Okay. All right, now we need some low profile adhesive backed Velcro dots. I get these in the sewing section at they have, some of them have them at Walmart and some have them at like any craft store. And I'm going to put one on the edge of the flap, and then I'm going to put the other one on top of it, adhesive up. And it helps if you have something in there when you're pressing it down. Just make sure that you're all nice and straight on the sides. Gently push. You don't want to smush up the cakes. And then just reinforce it. And there you have your closure. All right. So now, all right, and then we're going to tie a bow with some glittered organdy ribbon. And how I'm going to do it is I'm going to make a loop, then I'm going to go over the back and stick it through the hole my finger was in, and then just pull it, and then you're going to adjust it to the, all right, and then you're just going to keep adjusting it smaller and smaller until you find the size bow you want. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to snip off the ends. Okay, and I'm going to get some glue dots. I'm going to put it on the other side. So I like that side better. So I'm going to put it on the back on either side of the dot, of the knot, sorry, is where I'm going to put the glue dots. And then I'm going to put a little teeny bit of glue. This way, if it gets hot someplace and the glue dots kind of want to release, the glue will keep it on there. And it keeps it on there good for now, too. All right, so I have a lot of glitter on here. All right, so for the final touch, I'm going to be using some of the Ombre Matte Decorative Dots. Oops, I have one loose. And I'm going to be using the old olive ones. And I'm going to put a large one there and a small one right here, and then another small one up there. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. The link to my blog is below, which has all of the measurements, and also the link to my shop if you'd like to buy any of these products. This is my host code for purchases under $150. And have a great day. I'll see you on Friday. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Bye.